Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of tonight's WWE Payback pay-per-view. And I thought tonight's show was decently good. It was, decently good. It wasn't amazing, though, but I enjoyed some of the matches that were on there. Most of the matches were good. So except for one part that was like meh to me. So yeah, so let's get started. I'm gonna start with the stuff that happened on the kickoff show. The match that was on there was Enzo and Big Cass versus Gallows and Anderson. Okay match. Nothing great in it though. Nothing amazing. But you had just Gallows and Anderson just dominating through the match. But then in the end, Enzo and Big Cass got the win, pinning, giving the win for over Gallows and Anderson. So it was an okay match, but nothing perfect or great. Then after that, you had the Hardy Boys in the locker room saying they were going to beat Cesaro and Sheamus tonight to retain the Raw Tag Team titles. Goldust and R-Truth end up coming in saying they are happy that the Hardys are back in WWE and that Goldust and R-Truth are going to talk to Kurt Angle and issue a challenge for them to face whoever wins the Raw Tag Team title match tonight, which I'll get to when I talk about that. So it was a okay locker room segment. Then after that, you had Miz TV. Miz and Maurice come out. Miz introduces Finn Balor as his guest. Miz gets pissed because Balor's entrance was 5 minutes long, and Miz says to the crowd, what's happening? Why is the crowd all cheering? And Balor ends up saying that, it's the Balor Club. And Miz wants to be in Balor's club, but Balor said it comes down to a decision. And he asks the crowd if Miz and Maurice should be in the club. And they all boo Miz, but some of them cheer for Maurice because they think that she's pretty. So then Miz starts his interview and says he knows everything about Balor and all the places Balor has fought at. And then Miz just trash talks to Finn Balor, saying that he's a failure, and he goes on to say what's next for him. And Balor says to Miz that he's gonna get his title back, meaning the Universal title. Then Miz keeps trash talking him, saying he could wipe Balor off the floor, and Balor ends up saying that there's two clubs that Miz can enter. The first one is the Balor Club, which Miz is probably not gonna enter, or the Finn Balor kick my ass club or whatever he said it was. And then Finn then gets up from the chair, takes off his jacket, wanting to beat up on Miz, but cowardly Miz puts Maurice there to protect him. And then Balor then says that every Miz TV segment ends with him getting his ass kicked, with Miz getting his ass kicked. And Balor says that Miz is not worth his time. And then Balor ends up hitting a sling blade on Miz, and he runs Miz into the turnbuckle, in the corner turnbuckle. So, but all in all, it was a pretty good segment, only because of Balor, only because of Finn Balor. So yeah, so those were all the stuff that happened on the kickoff show. Then now moving on to the matches that were on the card, the regular card. First match was Jericho versus Owens for the U.S. title, for the United States title. And if Jericho won the match tonight and won the U.S. title, he would then go to the SmackDown roster. And this match was a pretty good match, very entertaining. Jericho and Owens, both of them gave it all they got. Just back and forth action between the both of them. Jericho won the match with the Walls of Jericho on Owens, and Jericho is your new United States champion. And now Jericho joins the SmackDown roster, which is awesome. So we'll see how Jericho does on SmackDown. So, but all in all, it was a pretty good match, very entertaining match. Really enjoyed it. And then the next match was Austin Aries versus Neville for the Cruiserweight title. Not a good match, but which I'll get to in the end. But you had Aries dominating through the match. It was pretty much basically his match. Like, he owned Neville through the match. But in the end, the match ended disappointingly because Neville grabbed the ref and tossed the ref. And then the ref got, really pissed off at Neville because he did that, which caused Neville to get disqualified. So Austin Aries won the match by disqualification, but Neville still retains the Cruiserweight title. So, but it was a good match, though, but disappointing in the end. Which I know Aries is going to get another shot at the title, hopefully. So, yeah. So the next match was the Hardy Boyz versus Sheamus and Cesaro for the Raw Tag Team titles. And this was a good match, very entertaining match. All four of these guys gave it all they got in this match. Really enjoyed it. But the Hardy Boyz, they won the match. It was down to Matt Hardy and Sheamus in the ring. And then Matt tagged in Jeff, made the tag to Jeff. But Sheamus pinned Matt, but couldn't do it because Matt wasn't the official man in the ring. And then Jeff Hardy just gives a swanton bomb to Sheamus, pins Sheamus to score the win, so the Hardy Boyz still retain the Raw Tag Team titles. Then after the match, all four of them shake hands, give respect. And then the Hardys end up celebrating, retain the tag team titles. And then from out of nowhere, which was kind of predictable though, but we saw Cesaro and Sheamus attack the Hardys. Sheamus, attacks Jeff Hardy. Cesaro ends up attacking Matt. And so Cesaro and Sheamus turn heel for this. So, which I knew it was coming. But all in all, it was a good match, very entertaining. And so now it's official as of tonight on RingsideNews.com. R-Truth and Goldust are taking on the Hardy Boyz tomorrow night on Raw. I think for the tag team titles. So the titles are going to be on the line, or they may not be on the line though. But it was coming from RingsideNews.com. So that match is happening tomorrow night on Raw. Yeah. So the next match was Alexa Bliss versus Bayley for the Raw Women's title, and of course this pay-per-view was held in Bayley's hometown of San Jose, and this was a very entertaining match between both of these superstars. I'm a huge Bayley fan, and I really enjoy Alexa. They're both my favorite superstars. Women superstars on the Raw Women's division. After Alexa, came from SmackDown to Raw in the Superstar Shakeup. But the match was very entertaining. Just a lot back and forth action between Alexa and Bayley. The turning point of the match was when Bayley was pinning Alexa. Alexa kicked out, and Bayley just rammed head first right into the turnbuckles. And then eventually led to Alexa hitting the DDT on Bayley. And then Alexa pins Bayley, and Alexa becomes the new Raw Women's Champion, which sadly, Bayley lost it in her hometown. But, WWE has matches where certain superstars are in their hometown and they lost their matches. But the good news is that Alexa made history tonight because she is the first woman superstar to win both brand titles. On SmackDown, she won the SmackDown title twice, two-time SmackDown Women's Champion, and she won, as of tonight, the Raw Women's title. So that's pretty cool for Alexa. I'm really happy for her. I'm not pissed off. I'm not really pissed off, about Bayley losing the title because I'm a fan of both of these superstars. But I think Alexa is going to make a good Raw Women's Champion, just like how she made a good, Women's Champion on SmackDown. So, but yeah, this match was very entertaining and it was a good match. Really enjoyed both of them in this match. And then the next was the House of Horrors match. It was Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. This match was done in two parts. The first part, they fought in the house, and it was filmed like a horror film, which was really cool. And you had just Orton walking into the house. Bray Wyatt was standing behind Orton, and they just started brawling, taking the hell out of each other. Orton goes into this room. He sees these baby dolls hanging from the ceiling. And then just Bray comes in there, and they just start both going at it. They go in the kitchen, start brawling more. Then Bray ends up pushing a fridge on top of Orton. And eventually leads to Bray escaping the house and going into a limo. Tells the limo driver, to take him to the arena. Limo drives off, to the arena. So it was a very good first part to that match. It was really awesome. And while we were waiting for Bray to come to the arena, it led into the next match, which was Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. And this match was very good. It was very entertaining too. Both of these guys going at it. Seth Rollins' injured knee played a role into the match because he had Joe just stomping on the injured knee of Rollins. One point in the match, Joe hit Rollins' knee bad, and Rollins almost, went motherfucker. He almost said that, but he was like, oh, mother. He didn't say that because that would get bleeped out if he said, fucker. So, but at the end of the match, Seth Rollins won it with the roll-up on Joe. And, of course, this is the first pay-per-view that Joe has lost at. So, but all in all, it was a good match. Very entertaining from both Rollins and Joe. And then it was the second part of the House of Horrors match. Bray Wyatt comes out for his entrance, with the lantern. When he gets in the ring, he blows out the lantern and the lights come on. And you see Orton in the back of him. And then just Orton hits Bray with the chair for the one time. They start brawling outside of the ring. Orton hits Bray with the chair for a second time. Then they're both back in the ring. The Bollywood Boyz out of nowhere come in to distract Orton and take out, trying to take out Orton. But Orton ends up taking both of them out. And then Bray was going to hit Sister Abigail on Orton, but Orton reversed it. And Orton then hit the RKO on Bray Wyatt. Then from out of nowhere, Jinder Mahal comes in, hits Orton with the title, with the WWE title, and eventually leads to their feud. Then just Bray just then ends up winning the match with the Sister Abigail on Orton. So Bray Wyatt won the House of Horrors match. But second part of the match, this part was meh. First part where they're fighting in the house was awesome, was good. So I know a lot of people were, from reports that I've read, they were shitting on the match. The crowd there was shitting on the match, but I thought it was awesome, just for the first part. Second part was, though it was just, Orton hitting Bray with the chair, Bollywood Boyz and Jinder, trying to, take out Orton. So, but next match was the main event, which was Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. This was a good main event. Strowman, just trying to take out Reigns, and he was dominating through the match, Strowman, with Reigns, because Reigns was still bandaged up from the attack that he had, with Strowman on Raw almost 3 weeks ago, when he took out where Strowman, lifted the ambulance with Reigns inside of it. So, but this match was crazy. Roman Reigns gave it all he got to take out Strowman, with Superman punches, a spear, and those all didn't leave Strowman down. So, but Strowman won the match with a power slam to Reigns to score the win. Then after the match, Strowman wasn't done. He takes the steps, throws it into the ring, and then he picks up Roman and drops Roman headfirst onto the steps. And then he had the officials come out to try and stop, Strowman from destroying Reigns even more. And then Strowman just ends up, picking up the steps and just driving it into Roman, probably injuring Roman's ribs. So then, Strowman just is finished with Reigns for now. But we see Reigns, the officials helping Roman to the back because EMTs come out with a stretcher. Reigns was right near the announce table, but Reigns refused to go on the stretcher, receive medical help, and so the pay-per-view just ends there. But then Raw talk ends up beginning, and we see the officials with Roman. Roman's still walking, and we see him spit out blood on the wall, a little bit of blood, because he was bleeding from the mouth. And then, the officials are like telling him to get into the ambulance. And then, from out of nowhere, Braun Strowman goes, "I ain't finished. I ain't done with you yet." And then Roman ends up backing away. Strowman just runs straight head first into the ambulance door, and he runs right into boxes that were piled up. They were Home Depot boxes because it said Home Depot on it. And then Reigns just was trying to beat the hell out of Strowman even more. Strowman ended up, getting away. And then eventually led to, you saw Roman just sitting on, outside of the ambulance. We see him still bleeding from the mouth. So that eventually ended it right there, when Raw talk began. So, yeah, so anyways, that's it for my review of tonight's Payback pay-per-view. Thank you all for watching, and until next video, which will be my Raw review tomorrow night. So until that video tomorrow night, I'll see you all later.